Every great empire believes it will last forever, but none ever do. Not because of invasion, not because of revolution, not even because of war. Those are just symptoms, not the cause. The real collapse begins when their money dies. When trust in their currency fades, everything built on it starts to crumble. And that single pattern has ended every great empire in history. This is how they fall. Every empire starts the same way, with rise, strong money, growing wealth, and unshakable confidence. Then comes expansion. Wars won, roads built, borders pushed. But greatness is costly, and soon comes overspending. To fill the gap, leaders weaken the money, less silver, more paper, endless digits. That brings inflation, prices rise, savings fall, trust fades. And when trust dies, the empire follows. Rise, expansion, overspending, debasement, inflation, loss of trust, collapse. The same cycle, turning again and again. 2,000 years ago, Rome stood at the center of the world. Its armies ruled 3 continents, its roads bound nations together, and its silver denarius was trusted everywhere. One small coin symbolized Rome's power, pure silver, pure stability. But greatness is costly. More wars, more soldiers, more luxuries, more money than the treasury could handle. So the emperors cheated the coin. Nero reduced the silver just a little, 90% instead of 100%. It worked for a while. Then others followed. Half silver, then a quarter, then almost none. By the 3rd century, the denarius looked the same but was nearly worthless. Soldiers demanded more pay, farmers stopped taking coins, and trade froze. Rome's borders still stood, but its economy had collapsed from within. The empire didn't fall to invaders, it fell to its own money. The denarius died first. Rome soon followed. For 6 centuries, the Ottoman Empire stood between East and West, a bridge of trade, culture, and power. At its height, it stretched from Vienna to Arabia, with Istanbul at the world's crossroads. But by the 1800s, the empire was aging. Wars, revolts, and competition with Europe drained its treasury. To keep up, the sultans borrowed, first locally, then from foreign banks. Each loan bought time, but each came with interest and control. By the 1870s, debt payments consumed half of all revenue. When money ran out, they printed more and devalued the kurus. Prices soared, and trust collapsed. In 1875, the empire went bankrupt. 2 years later, European powers took over its tax system to collect debt. A once mighty empire had lost control of its own economy. By the early 1900s, it was an empire in name only, weighed down by debt and dependence. When World War I came, it all fell apart. The currency died, the debts remained, and the empire vanished. Another empire undone by the same pattern, overspending, debt, and the death of its money. For 2 centuries, Britain ruled the seas, and the markets. The pound sterling wasn't just money, it was trust stamped in gold. 1 pound equaled a fixed weight of gold anywhere on earth. That promise made the pound the backbone of global trade. But power is expensive. When World War I began, Britain borrowed on a massive scale, printed money, and suspended gold. For the first time, the pound was no longer as good as gold. After the war, Britain tried to restore the old rate. But the world had changed, prices were higher, exports weaker, and defending the pound crushed the economy. By 1931, it had to abandon gold for good. World War II sealed its fate. Debt soared, cities burned, and the empire survived only on American loans. In 1944, the Bretton Woods system made the US dollar the new global anchor. Britain fought to hold on but couldn't. The pound was devalued again and again, inflation eroded savings, and the colonies slipped away, not by force, but by finance. The empire that once ruled a quarter of the planet lost it all within a generation. When the money fails, the empire follows. The same pattern lives on today, only now, it wears a different flag. For 80 years, the United States has been the center of the global economy. The dollar is the world's reserve currency, trusted, traded, and saved everywhere. After World War II, America held most of the world's gold. The dollar was as good as gold itself, $35 for an ounce. But spending soon outpaced income, wars, programs, bases around the world. By the late 1960s, other nations noticed there were more dollars than gold. They asked for gold instead of paper. In 1971, President Nixon closed the gold window. The dollar became pure promise. It worked for a while. Oil and trade still ran on dollars, but printing and borrowing never stopped. In 1980, U.S. debt was under $1 trillion. By 2000, $5 trillion. By 2020, 27. Today, more than $35 trillion, and still rising. The Federal Reserve created trillions more in digital money, quantitative easing. Prices climbed: food, housing, energy. Each dollar bought a little less. Now, quiet shifts are underway. Nations trade in their own currencies. Central banks buy gold. The dollar's share of global reserves is falling. This isn't prophecy, it's math. The same math that broke Rome's silver, the Ottomans' credit, and Britain's pound. America still leads in innovation and power, but the laws of money haven't changed. When debt grows faster than trust, the pattern always catches up. Some say this time is different, and in many ways, they're right. The United States isn't Rome or Britain. It's a nation built on innovation, not conquest. It has vast natural resources, deep capital markets, and powerful allies. Its companies shape technology, science, and culture across the planet. The dollar is still trusted, still used in trade, and still seen as the safest place for savings when crises hit. Those strengths matter. They can slow the pattern, buy time, and cushion the fall. America can adapt faster, adjust policies, and rebuild confidence in ways past empires never could. But even the strongest system can't outrun simple math. Debt is still debt. Inflation still erodes trust. And the more money created from nothing, the weaker each dollar becomes. So yes, this time is different, but not different enough to ignore history's warning. Empires don't fall in a single night. They fade slowly, a little trust lost here, a little value lost there, until one morning, they wake up and realize the world has moved on without them. The fall doesn't begin with an invasion or a battle. It begins in silence, in numbers on a ledger, in promises that can no longer be kept. Every empire thinks it's different. Every empire believes it can bend the rules of money and time. But history doesn't whisper. It repeats. Rome, the Ottomans, Britain, they all looked into this mirror before us. And now, it's our reflection staring back. History isn't warning us, it's showing us the mirror. What do you think? Are we already too deep in the pattern, or can this empire still change course? Tell me in the comments, I want to hear your take. And while you are there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and thumbs up. It really helps us keep going, and I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. And I will see you in the next video.